What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports back to you guys with another video. I'm here with my Cleveland Browns 2019 NFL record prediction, predicting the Cleveland Browns record for the 2019 NFL season, week by week, predicting the wins and the losses. And this Cleveland Browns team, they're very loaded at every position. They don't really have any glaring weaknesses other than maybe the safety position, but I think they should be okay. This Cleveland Browns team is not going to come. It's going to come down to coaching and how well Freddie Kitchens can handle this roster and the players as well, because he has a bunch of high emotional players like the Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, Baker Mayfield. So he has a lot of characters on this roster. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing with the Cleveland Browns. It's not going to be talent. They're pretty much better than almost every team that they play on their schedule this year. So it's just going to come down to how well can Freddie Kitchens manage the personalities on this roster. So that's kind of a tough task for a first year head coach to handle all this talent. So week one, they play the Tennessee Titans at home. I have no win in this game here. Tennessee, by no stretch of imagination, is not a bad team, But I think the Cleveland Browns are going to come out here and they're going to pretty much, beat Tennessee by a pretty good margin. I don't think Tennessee is a bad team. I just think, it's going to be a home game. It's going to be sold out. The Cleveland Browns players are going to be excited, and Cleveland Brown fans are going to be excited, and so it's just going to be a different energy. They're going to come out with a lot more energy than the Tennessee Titans, and I think they win this game by at least 10 points or more. So week two, they played the New York Jets on Monday Night Football at New York. Now, I think this might be a little bit of a dogfight. The last time these two teams played, Baker Mayfield came in and he outdueled Colin Coward's favorite thick, trunky, blue collar coastal kid, is Sam Donald. And I think that's going to happen again. I don't think the New York Jets roster is as good as people may think it is. They are improved, but they still have a lot of holes there, especially at that offensive line position. I think Cleveland's defensive line is going to be able to handle that matchup pretty well. And I have them starting 2-0. Week three, this is where the real season for the Cleveland Browns begins, because after, starting with this week, they have a pretty tough schedule after, week two. So before I get into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I upload NFL videos and NFL content daily. Also, make sure to share this video with your friends and acquaintances to help spread the word of the channel. So they're playing the Los Angeles Rams. Sean McVay versus Freddie Kitchens. This is going to be Cleveland's first primetime game that they have ever had in a long, 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 long time. So I'm going to be interested to see how these Cleveland Brown players react. Are they going to be composed, Are they going to be able to control their emotions? And, by that, are we going to see, like, any, extracurricular penalties? Like, maybe we see a little scuffle break out, we get unsportsmanlike conducts or something like that. Just, extracurricular stuff, because, their emotions are going to be high. They're going to be on primetime television for the first time in a long time. It's going to be sold out, So it's just the matter of, can Cleveland control their emotions and able to win this game? Because, these teams are pretty much dead, even talent wise. But I'm going to go with the LA Rams. I think the LA Rams are going to be the more composed team. I think Cleveland, they're going to be a little bit too energetic, and they're going to be a little bit too anxious, and that's going to show on the field, So I have them winning this game or losing this game to the Rams. I have the Rams winning. Week four, they play the Baltimore Ravens at Baltimore. This is their first divisional game of this year, and I think the AFC North is going to be pretty tough. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Baltimore Ravens, all three of those teams end up going into the playoffs this season, because they're all pretty good teams, pretty talented teams. I have the Cleveland Browns beating the Baltimore Ravens the first go around. And, I don't see the Cleveland Browns sweeping the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to take the next game that the Cleveland Browns play. But I just think Cleveland, coming off of that loss versus LA Rams, they're going to be a little bit more composed, a little bit more have their emotions in check. And I think they're going to be looking for some redemption against the Baltimore Ravens, and have them winning this game. Week five, they have another Monday night game versus the San Francisco 49ers. I forgot to put that on here. Forgive me. Um, this game is another tough game for the Cleveland Browns. A lot of people are not as high on the San Francisco 49ers like I am. I think the San Francisco 49ers are going to be very, very good this year. I think they will make it to the playoffs as well. I think they kind of have to, or else I think Kyle Shanahan is going to be really on the hot seat. And I think this is a game that could go either way because the San Francisco 49ers have a lot of guys on defense that can get after the passer. So that's going to be one aspect. You're going to have to defend Nick Bosa, DeForest Buckner, and you're going to have to defend D Ford coming off the edge as well. So this is a game, that favors Cleveland because the San Francisco 49ers often they have a lot of guys there that are fairly young. So I think they might struggle a little bit on offense. So that's why I have the Cleveland Browns winning this game here against the San Francisco 49ers week 5. Week 6, they have another tough game. They face the Seattle Seahawks. This game is at home, but it's always difficult trying to, game plan for Russell Wilson. And, the Seattle Seahawks, their wide receiving core is going to be a little bit of a work in progress to start out the season because, a lot of people are going to be trying to figure out their roles in the offense. DK Metcalf is going to still be adjusting to the NFL game. We see a lot of rookie wide receivers in the NFL struggle the first couple of weeks, and then after the midway point, they start going off. I think this is the perfect time if you're Cleveland that you want to play Seattle, but I'm going to go with Seattle to pull off the upset here. And although right now it may not look like an upset, but during this point of the season, Cleveland is going to be what 4-1 basically. So only one loss coming against the LA Rams. So this could pretty much be an upset. Seattle, I could see them winning this game here, just because they're going to have Russell Wilson, and they're going to have a very good coaching staff as well going into this game. So week 7, they have a bye week, and the bye week is going to be very well needed because they have another tough stretch of games, and then you start that stretch off going on the road at New England, which is already a pretty tough place to win at. Then you got to go on the road and play Denver. Then you got to play Buffalo. That's not going to be an easy game as well. Then you got to play Pittsburgh on a Thursday night. So let's just start with the New England Patriots. So week 8, they're at Foxborough. This is going to be a very tough game, and I think a lot of people are going to be focused on this matchup. They're going to be focusing on this matchup for all the wrong reasons. They're going to be focused on the Cleveland Browns roster versus the New England Patriots rosters, who are probably some of the most talented rosters in the AFC. The New England Patriots are a better team than what they were last year. I know that's crazy considering the fact that they lost two of their best players, Trey Flowers and Rock Gronkowski, but they got Michael Bennett, you got Isaiah Wynn, who was a first round pick in the 2018 NFL draft, who didn't even play last year. He suffered a season-ending injury and training camp, I believe. So this New England Patriots team is going to be very good. They're very loaded, at the wide receiver position as well. So, I don't think it's going to be all about the players. I think what people need to look for in this matchup is the coaches. We need to see if Freddie Kitchens can outcoach Bill Belichick, and that's what it's ultimately going to come down to. It's not going to come down to the players. It's going to be more of the coaches, and that's what it always is with the New England Patriots. You can be the better team than the New England Patriots, but you can be the better team and you can still lose because even though you're the better team, the New England Patriots are going to be the better coach team. They're going to be more disciplined, and that's why I have New England winning this game here. I think Cleveland could win this game, but I'm gonna give them a 20% chance of it because it's so hard to beat New England, especially at Foxborough, because New England is just so disciplined, and so very well coached. And you have a bunch of Cleveland Browns players, who are very emotional, so a lot of unnecessary penalties can happen in this game, and it's just going to come down to the fact of can Freddie Kitchens outcoach Bill Belichick. That's what it all comes down to with New England. You might be the better team, but you have to outcoach them if you want to beat them. So ultimately, I don't think Freddie Kitchens is going to be able to do that. We don't really see a lot of first-year head coaches beat Bill Belichick. And most of the time, teams that do beat Bill Belichick, you got to have a little bit as luck as well, like we saw with the Miami Dolphins. So week 9, they play Denver, another tough road game. Denver is a very tough place to play in. They're going to be very good this year now with an upgrade at quarterback with Joe Flacco there. So I think Denver is a little bit of a sleeper team. They're a dark horse Super Bowl contender because their defense with Bradley Chubb and Von Miller, they're going to be very good there. So this is a game that I feel could go either way. But I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns to win this game. I think Cleveland has a little bit of the one up on Denver. They both have first year head coaches, but I think Cleveland's the better team than Denver. So week 10, they play the Buffalo Bills at home. Now, Cleveland Brown fans might be looking at this game like, okay, this is an easy W. But I think this is probably going to be one of the toughest games that Cleveland plays up until this point of the season. And the reason why I say that, it's going to be just as tough as the New England game because this Buffalo team is being slept on by a lot of people. Buffalo has a very good team, and if Josh Allen can be consistent as a passer in this game, I think this game is going to be really, really close. I'm going to go with Cleveland to win this game, but this isn't going to be an easy game. I can see Cleveland winning this game by like 1 or 2 points because this Buffalo Bills defense is very good. I believe they had the second best defense in all of football last year. Then you have a very improved wide receiving core, which by the stretch, I don't think it's going to be amazing wide receiving core. They have a bunch of speedsters and small guys who like John Brown and Cole Beasley. The wide receiving core isn't going to look flashy, but it's going to be better than what it was last season. So Cleveland's going to be up in the dogfight against the Buffalo Bills. Mark my words. So week 11 they play the Pittsburgh Steelers Thursday night. At home, I have them winning this matchup. They're going to split the series. They're not going to beat Pittsburgh twice. So this is a game that I have them winning here. Week 12, they play the Miami Dolphins. We already know this is going to be a W here. The Miami Dolphins don't stand a chance, really, simply for the fact that, they don't really have a good roster at all. But, Cleveland does have, an emotional team, so maybe they underestimate the Miami Dolphins, and maybe Miami finds a way to pull out the upset. I highly doubt that. Week 13, they travel on the road at Heinz Field. This is a very talented team. The Cleveland Browns, most people would say that they are the better team than Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh isn't going to lose to the Cleveland Browns twice, at least not at home. And Heinz Field, other than New England, Heinz Field is one of the hardest places to play in all of football. It's right up there with Foxborough. It's very hard to come out of Pittsburgh for victory, so I have them losing that game there. Week 14, they play the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati, they could be a little bit of a tricky team. They're very solid, but their biggest weakness is at the offensive line and the linebacker position. And I think Cleveland is going to be able to expose that. That's why I have them beating the Cincinnati Bengals there. Week 15, they play the Arizona Cardinals. This is a game I feel, could be a trap game for Cleveland. It's going to be at Arizona. And Arizona, they're going to be trying to earn some victories basically before they officially start trying to tank. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I think Arizona puts up some points on Cleveland, and this game is going to be a lot closer than what people expected to be on paper. But I think Cleveland's going to end up pulling off the victory there. Week 15, week 16, they play the Baltimore Ravens. Again, for the second time, I had them losing that matchup. I don't see them sweeping the Baltimore Ravens as well. So, I mean, Baltimore is just a very good team. And the last time these two teams played, it was a very, I said this game was going to be very close, but I think Cleveland's going to pull away. This game, I think, is going to be close as well. And, I just can't see Cleveland sweeping the Baltimore Ravens. It may look good, but I don't think that's going to happen. Week 17, they play the Cincinnati Bengals at Cincinnati. I had them mopping the floor with Cincinnati there. I don't see Cincinnati beating the Cleveland Browns at least once because I just think it's too much talent for Cincinnati to handle. So the record that I have for the Cleveland Browns this season is 11-5. I saw a lot of people have them at 9-7, 10-6. I think 11-5 is pretty good. They could be a little bit better. But they're going to have to win some of those big games. They're going to have to be able to beat a team like New England on the road. They're going to have to be able to beat a team like the Los Angeles Rams. And that's asking a lot for a young first-year head coach in Freddie Kitchens, which pretty much he has the most pressure on him and the hardest job. It might be crazy saying that considering all the time that you have around him, but you have to manage personalities and being a first year head coach, that's really a tough aspect when you have so much talent. You have to manage the personalities and the emotions of these players and make sure that they stay in check. So, 11-5, that's going to be good. They are going to make it to the playoffs. I don't know if they can win the division. They should win the division. I'm still a fan saying this. They could win the division. And, they could end up playing either the Ravens or the Steelers in the playoffs. So that's going to be something to look out for. So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.